Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Street Photography Shots Explained. So today, as you can see, I'm actually doing this episode outside, mainly because I want to get ready because it's gonna be like another another 4 weeks, and I'll actually be in Europe and doing videos like this outside, and I have to prepare for it basically, and have to also not care about other people being in my shots and hearing background noises and just working with lighting, just making sure everything's working properly. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and regardless of all of that, we're gonna go ahead and talk about three of my street photography shots today. And for the first shot, it is called Long Walking Days. This shot right here. So what I really wanted to capture here was the depth of New York City. As you can see, there are also these like stacks of, that they have in front of buildings. It's like permanently there. I've been to New York City so many times now that at first I thought that those stacks and that the platforms that they have there was actually part of construction, but in reality that's just stuff that they leave there all the time. They don't ever take it off. I don't know why. Maybe you guys know why, but I don't know why. But basically I wanted to capture the essence of going to New York City. So if you've never been there before, 90% of everything there is concrete, besides Central Park and places like that. Maybe more like 70%. But like Central Park is pretty big and everything. You can see grass in there. But even whenever you're walking in Central Park, you're walking on sidewalks, or you're walking on hard surfaces like cobblestone and stuff like that. So whenever you go to New York City and you're walking around, you really feel the uh, you really feel tired, the exhaustion of walking on concrete all day, and it takes a toll on you. So that's why I wanted to call this Long Walking Days. As you can see, the main subject right here on the right, they were shopping and holding a bag and everything, just having a good day, walking around and everything. But even if you have the best day in New York City, at the end of the day, you're going to feel extremely tired because of all the walking that you will be doing. But yeah, that's what I wanted to capture in here. Just a subject in the foreground, and then the actual depth of New York City, and that side of the street in front of the subject as the background. And I just wanted to capture that essence. But yeah, that's this shot. But basically, I don't know if you can hear that. There's an airplane going above, and there's also horns going on the side and everything. And this is a perfect example of me trying to capture audio outside. I'm gonna go ahead and test this and see if maybe this is way too loud for what it should be, or if there's any things that I need to fix whenever I'm over there, so that by the time I'm over there, I can go ahead and polish these videos, and I could just do this like this all the time and just have a good sense of what I need to turn down, or if I need to fix my video or whatever. So yeah, but anyways, this is the shot that I wanted to talk about. And a little bit ago, I probably showed you that there's like a little train going by right here. I'll go ahead and show you again. There's a train that goes by the Trinity River, and it basically has kids that get on it. I didn't know it ran during the week because I feel like it's mainly a weekend thing. But regardless, there's that little train, and that's probably the horn that you heard just a little bit ago. But yes, that's the first shot. And then for the second shot, it is called Creating a Scene. This shot right here. So for creating a scene, what I wanted to show here is how you can make a frame out of anything. So one of the best things that I like to do is I like to use other people on the street, because there's sometimes whenever you're walking around the street, especially if the street is wide or the sidewalk is wide, you get bored of just taking pictures of people, subjects that are in front of you, and then there's nothing in the background, or there's people in the background, and you think to yourself like, what am I really trying to capture here? So that's why whenever I'm bored and I start like challenging myself and trying to figure out a more artistic way of taking these photos, that's whenever I start using people as frames. So I'll use people as a frame, taking a shot between two people's shoulders, and then having another person on the other side of the street be my main subject. But in this one, what I wanted to do is I wanted to use both people, the person that you see on the right and the person you see on the left, as a framer marker. And then there's the two subjects that are right there. So there's a person that is basically turning left, and almost seems like they're about to follow the other subject that is walking away, but that's not the case. They were just, turning. I'm guessing just walking around in Philadelphia, but that's basically what I wanted to capture here. And to do these types of things, usually I take off autofocus as far as continuous, like, and especially in Sony, I'll take that off and I'll just do single point. That way I'm able to capture just the people in the middle, or the people that I'm actually trying to capture. I usually like tap the screen so that it goes to that specific subject and it's not jumping around between the people on the sides and the people that I'm actually trying to capture. So that's this shot. That's basically what I'm trying to show in this photo. But it's also creating a scene, because you can interpret this in so many ways and try to figure out what I'm actually trying to tell. But one of the reasons why I do these videos is because I'm trying to portray and I'm trying to tell you exactly what I'm trying to show in these images, so that there is no question of, oh, well, maybe he was trying to show this. But in the end, it's also up to personal interpretation. You can just see these and believe what you want to believe, interpret it however you want to interpret it. But I always want to give my 2 cents on what I was actually trying to capture and how I ended up capturing it. So yeah, that's creating a scene. That's this shot right here. And for the third shot, it is called An Artist's Soul. So this was actually in the Cologne Cathedral. It's like a huge cathedral in Cologne, or Köln, Germany. So there's a whole bunch of statues, portraying religious, figures and stuff like that. But each one of these statues is lit up very softly by lights that they have on there, and it's going specifically for these statues. So whenever I saw this, I was trying to make this more interesting. So I didn't want to just capture the statue and that's it. I also wanted to capture the light in the background. I didn't want to just capture like dead, not dead, but like no light in the background whatsoever. So that's why I ended up moving around it, and I probably looked kind of weird because I was just walking side to side trying to figure out how I wanted to take this photo so I can capture more light in the image, not just the light that's going towards the subject, which is the statue, but like kind of like creating a scene as well. It's like just trying to get more light into the image to make it more interesting. So that's whenever I ended up seeing on the side right here, I ended up seeing that there was light coming in on the side of the cathedral, and then there was also light coming in on from actual lights on the right side. So I ended up angling up a little bit, and it is scooting back, angling up a little bit on my actual camera, and I ended up taking this photo right here. And why I also called this An Artist's Soul is because it's one of those things that reminds me of whenever I'm taking photos and everything, especially seeing like statues like this. It's like somebody created this and they took the time to create it. This is not just something that's manufactured on a factory or whatever, and that somebody actually took the time to create this. So in my opinion, it's like a piece of their soul is left there, because this is their art form and they're kind of immortalized with this piece until they get rid of it or something like that. But I'm sure that they'll never get rid of it as long as the cathedral's there, is because it's they'll take care of it, trying to preserve it and everything. But the artist's soul is immortalized by this image, and that's one of the things that I also push other people to whenever they see and take photos. It's a good idea to go ahead and print your photos. That way, a piece of your soul survives after you're gone. And especially if you have a family, you can, pass on your photos to your family, take photos with them, or go around the world like I'm planning. I'm planning on, like I said, going to Europe and taking like a whole bunch of street photography. So the last time that I was in Germany, I actually ended up taking about 15,000 photos per city, and I was in each city about 3 days. And that is me doing, like, I call them shifts, kind of like working. That's me doing like 12-hour shifts of actually street photography, just wandering around, discovering the city, getting to know the people, and just taking pictures. But that's basically what I'm going for. And whenever I see pictures that like really attract me, that I end up taking and I end up posting on Instagram, I also print them so that my family and whoever is interested has a chance to see the world through my perspective. And that's why printing images is extremely important. So you should print images so that way a piece of your soul, survives on and maybe even is immortalized, especially if people really like your work at a later time. But yeah, that's that basically that's this photo right here. It was lit, so it was already lit for me and everything. I just had to. I'm guessing I ended up taking this photo at 1/200 because that's usually where I left it whenever I had an A6400. 1/200 and 1/250, 1/300 outside. So I ended up bumping the ISO on this image probably up to, I can't exactly remember, but probably up to 500, and that was it because I was afraid of putting too much ISO on it. I've learned since then that you can push it way further in that, especially in Sony cameras. But for this one specifically, that's how I ended up taking the photo. It lit for me. I ended up moving around, getting that light from the background, getting that light from the top, angling up, and I was able to take this photo just like that. But yeah, those are the 3 photos that I want to go ahead and take, and it's probably time for me to get going here soon because, as you can see, Reggie's already ready to go. He's been walking around bored and just trying to walk around because I tend to do these videos. And the good thing though is that every one of these videos I never write a script or anything, and I always do it in one take, so it's easier for me. But he also gets since we do about 5 miles every time we come out here, he gets impatient, especially whenever I do videos like this. So but yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and head out, but I'll go ahead and catch you guys next time.